Do you want to win case competitions or you're wondering what a case competition exactly is? Then this is going to be your go to guide. Why? Because in this episode, I'm joined by Mr. Rahul Airi, who is currently serving as a market research specialist at Gartner. And he has also won more than 15 case competitions. And in this episode, we are going to do a full breakdown about how to approach a case competition, and we are going to cover every part of it: the research part, the deck part, how to pitch, how to understand and read the case, everything. We not only talk about case competitions, but we also talk about internships and placement. So, if you are someone who is figuring out and if you're unsure about case competitions, and especially if you're someone who is in your first year or second year of undergraduate, then this is going to be your go to guide. Trust me. Without further ado, let's dive in. So, my very first question to you is that you have won over 15 plus case competitions across marketing, strategy, and analytics, which is amazing. But if you were to take a step back and kind of think from the UG point of view, then what would you suggest someone who's just beginning in this journey? What does the process look like from reading the case to kind of giving the final pitch?
Right, awesome. First, we need to understand what kind of case competitions are out there. So, we have two types of case competitions mostly. One is organized by the schools or even some UG colleges as well. And the other one is the corporate case competitions. Now, these B school competitions or the UG colleges competitions, these are a lot in number. These are happening like uh, every month you can see more than 20, more than 25. You just have to browse through it. And these are less competitive. And if we talk about the corporate case competitions, they are a lot more prestigious, but a lot more competitive as well. Right. So once we understand this, that where do we want to go to? My personal advice would be if you're just starting out, start with the B school competitions. You'll have an idea how it is exactly like, right? And it's always nice if, as a UG student, to have a B school name in your resume. So let's say you won a competition or even a national finalist in IIM Indore. That gives a very good image for your master's application as well as for your hiring applications as well. Right. So if you're just starting out, if you have no idea what case comp is, I'm assuming that. So the major platform that is used for these case competitions are Unstop. So you can make an account on Unstop. You can go to the competition section and you can find a list of these competitions over there. Right. Once you register in it, mostly these are team based. So you need to form a team of 2 to 4 generally, and then you're good to go. Once it is done, the round one is there. Round one is mostly quiz that is based out of Unstop platform only, right? So there are a series of 20, 30 questions on a time span of 30 minutes. So this I'm talking about the B school competitions. We'll come to the corporate ones later, right? So the first round is your quiz. Now, this quiz mostly revolves around general reasoning. If it's a like a consulting competition, then it's more revolves around towards the frameworks, towards the analytics part. If it's related to marketing and branding, it's more related to the marketing frameworks and even some general awareness questions as well. So you need to be very sharp on your toes, as it is not just about if you're doing all the answers correct. That's not just about it. You need to be on time as well. So let's say, Ashi, you answered 10 out of 10. I answered 10 out of 10. But if you complete it in 1 minute and I complete it in 1 minute and a half, then you'll be the one who's proceeding to round two. So time is of the essence. And so we're clear with the round one. Uh, so round one is competitive because it's an eliminatory round. So let's say there are 1,000 applications in the competition, then only around like 200, 250 at most will be shortlisted. So you need to make sure you're giving it diligently. There are some tips and tricks. We'll dive right into it later on once Ashi asks me. Uh, right. So round two. Round two is usually case based. Now, this case could be a one liner, just a problem statement that XYZ company sales are declining. What could be the reasons? You need to find a solution for it. Just that. or it could be a 5 page detailed document entitling various graphs, various statistics that you have to evaluate. So it all depends what kind of competition are you taking, and then you can go forward with it. The round three is mostly an expanded version of round two. So it could either have a separate problem statement or it could carry on this problem statement of round two. So let's say you made a 1 page slide or a 3 page slide at max at round two. You will be given the option to expand it into a 5 pager or a 8 pager. And you will also have to present it either on campus at the college that it was hosted or virtually in a Teams meeting, your presentation. You need to explain it very well, and presentation numbers counts a lot. So this is the overview of how a case competition looks like, a B school one. Coming on to the corporate case competitions, these are mostly more intense but more fun. Fun in the way because their round ones are not just quiz based. There are several other types as well. So we have treasure hunts. We have some, so you must have seen Coca-Cola campaigns going on all across LinkedIn if you're active there, right? So there, that was part of a Coca-Cola case competition. So there are a lot of fun activities. The only way to crack this is start as early as possible. So let's say the round is starting at 12 p.m. and you have a 24-hour window or a 10-hour window to do it. Start at 12 p.m. Don't wait for it because the answers will come out eventually. So let's say your friend gave a treasure hunt and it he posted the answers on the group in at 2 p.m. You're waiting for these answers कि answers आ जाएंगे फिर हम कर लेंगे and we'll be shortlisted. That's not how it works. You need to be in the top 10, you need to be in the top 20, top 50 time wise. So start at 12 p.m. only if it's starting at 12 and you're good to go. And then their cases revolves more around their organization. So the original problem they are facing. So let's say I remember a case competition of Rebel Foods. So they were having some problem with the supply chain. They were having some problem with the traffic on their own website. So you must know कि Rebel Foods के जितने भी outlets हैं, they are listed on Zomato and Swiggy as well. But they have their own platform as well. So they wanted the customers to shift from Zomato, Swiggy to their own platform. So this was a problem statement ki how to do that, how to increase the traffic. So this was a real case problem for them. So they value the solutions for this a lot. They go through it individually, all the cases. And if you provide a good enough solution, then you are even cutting the cost of the company or bringing some revenue. So it's like a very prestigious thing to do. So this is all about the corporate case competition.
Okay, so let's first talk about the round one only. Like, how do we clear those quizzes and how can we, because we have to take care of the time as well. So, how do we clear
Right.
that? Yeah.
Right. So there's a trick that I use. So mostly what happens is you are a team of 3 people, you're a team of 4 people, but only the team leader is able to do it. But three minds are better than one. So how can you make sure that you are leveraging the whole team's expertise? Is you can make a Google Meet, you can share your screen, and then give the quiz. You'll see, you'll take your teammates on the meet and ask them to just unmute your mic. They can see the screen, they can see the questions, and then you can go on about it. So let's say question one, teammate two ko aata hoga, and then they can answer it out. So this is how I did it, but in some of the quizzes where screen is shared when it is not allowed to do it, it is good to be on your own. It is good to be, use some AI tools, use Google Lens. I'm okay saying that because everyone is going to do it. If you are not doing it, then you are lacking behind. So even if you are a master's student, even if you are a PhD student, you will still not know these answers at the top of your mind. You will have to use some kind of source. So do it. It's fine. Everyone is doing it.
Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. That is, how do you approach the case when it is first given to you? So, what is your approach? What kind of framework do you have? And how do you kind of break those, like the whole complex case problem into smaller, manageable parts?
Right. So one very underrated thing that today's generation do not do is read. Well, I'm a reader. I like to read a lot. So whenever there is a case, even if it's a 5 pager, go through it all. You have to read each and every word at least twice, so that you know that what is exactly about. Then the next step would be uploading it on a AI platform like Claude or GPT to get deeper insights. So let's say you do not know the meaning of one particular paragraph or one particular statistic, you can ask that AI tool, can you please explain that? Once you're clear with the case, keep what the problem is, what the objectives are, what statistics are given to me, then only we can move ahead. What I did in particular was I used a research methodology that we use in writing a research paper. So the first of all, it would start with a problem statement. Problem statement is a one-liner statement that incorporates all these problems, all the thing that we need to do. Right. So let's say there's a very five-pager problem कि sales गिर रहा है, cost बढ़ रही है, ये है, वो है, and it's FMCG brand. It all boils down to how can we reduce the cost and how can we increase the revenue. So profitability कैसे बढ़ाएं via supply chain. So via supply chain मेरे को कैसे पता लगा? Case पढ़ के पता लगा. So this is a problem statement. Then I move on to the objectives. कि objectives क्या क्या है? Now objectives can be determined by the deliverables that has been asked to. So deliverables could be in the form of key, you need to come up with a solution, you need to come up with a timeline, you need to come up with an execution plan. So sometimes deliverables are listed, sometimes they are not. If they are listed, consider them as objectives. Objectives in the form of key, if they are asking an execution plan, then one of your objectives should be the objective three would be key, we will have to make an execution plan for the solution that we are proposing. Once you're clear with the objectives, we move on to the next step, research. तो रिसर्च करते हैं हम ऑब्जेक्टिव वाइज पहले वन फिर टू फिर थ्री ऐसे
Okay, so one question that is that how there are multiple problem statements sometimes it's given, and if it's a five-pager case, then how do you identify the right problem statement?
right. Like I said, reading is the most important thing you can do here. You need to realize the core problem kya hai. So when you're solving a case study, when you're even solving a guesstimate, you need to understand what is the crux, what is the backbone of this thing. My strategy teacher used to tell me ki it's about not how you're doing it, it's about just identifying that backbone ki ha ye wali problem hai. So it comes with experience. When you give a lot of case comps, when you go through a lot of cases, even in your UG, you'll get to know कि हाँ यार, this is the pattern, this is something that we should look forward to. अगर जैसे कि ठीक है, we will discuss an example later on maybe, and I can tell you in real time how to identify that. But it comes with experience and it comes with read the case, no matter how long.
Okay. Where do you and how do you start your secondary research? And is there any tools that you can kind of rely on? And also, if we can, if there are any tips for validating the ideas with primary research or consumer behavior, and does that really kind of uplifts your case as well?
Right. So when we talk about research, we need to understand that it is not really an academic research. It is a market research. So mostly. So if we are talking about an analytics case competition, it mostly revolves around the analysis that of the statistics that they have provided. But if we are talking about a general marketing case, then we need to come up these statistics on our own and then analyze it. So how do we do it? Uh, we rely on secondary sources. Secondary sources means various databases that is available on the internet in the public domain. We have Google, we have ChatGPT right now, right? So, but how do you start it? That's what matters. Anyone can, copy the problem statement, put it in the ChatGPT, and ask for a solution, and then paste it as a answer. This is not how you should do it. So, if we take an example of check it, an FMCG case competition, let's say a particular SKU, yeah, a particular brand of a FMCG company is not doing well. How do we go on about it? Right. So first we need. How I will do it. So first I'll look at the industry of that brand. Right. How the industry is doing. So it's like a top-down approach. You look at the universe. The universe is the industry that the company is operating in. Then I will deep down into the industry patterns, industry trends, how it is going right now. Okay. What is the CAGR of that? What are the key drivers, key barriers? Then I will move on to the company. कंपनी का मैं एनुअल रिपोर्ट जाके चेक करूंगा. investor presentations जाके check करूंगा what kind of products, what kind of different brands are there, how they are doing, what were their performance as compared to the last year, right? And it will give me an insight कि हाँ actual change क्या हुआ है. Then I will move on to a particular SKU of that brand. कि इस SKU का ऐसे चल रहा है, इस SKU का ऐसे चल रहा है. Now there are various frameworks that we can refer to even while research, so that we have a direction. So we have Ansoff matrix, we have BCG matrix that I very much like to, so in BCG matrix, you can divide your SKUs into which is most profitable, which has the most market share, which has the most potential. So you can, use your mind, you can use the figures that is being given and put them into this matrix. So this will give you a direction कि हाँ मेरा कैसा जा रहा है. ठीक है. उसके बाद अपनी रिसर्च को वैलिडेट करेंगे through secondary sources, other sources as well. So we have various databases that are often free or that are often provided by UG colleges. So we have Prowess IQ that I used a lot for financial databases. So that is one thing that you can use. Best practice to do here is approach your library, ask them whatever e-resources that you have, whatever journal subscriptions that you have, right? And what else you can do. The next thing is you can go to Google Scholar and find research reports as well. So if there's a particular market, if there's a particular industry, you can find the research papers around it and you can go through them as well. I have found it to be very helpful to have some evidence that has been published, right? So this is the secondary research. You had a second part, primary research, right? So in particularly for corporate case competitions, these guys love us to go into the market, right? These guys love some actual consumer sentiments. They pay a lot to the consulting companies, from market research companies, to do that. So if we are doing it for them, it will put a wonderful impression on the judges. So always strengthen your evidence by primary research. So how should you go on about it? Create a survey, create a questionnaire, do a focus group interview, and if it's a FMCG case competition, go to the market, talk to the retailers, talk to distributors, talk to actual customers, and record it in the form of images or videos. If you paste them, that will give a very good image that yes, आप market पे उतरे हो, आप actually consumer research कर रहे हो. How do you gain this research? So let's say आपको secondary resource से पता लग गया कि this is a problem one, ABC, this is a problem two, XYZ. Now you make a questionnaire or you make a focus group interview such कि उसमें वो variables हो. कि I'm asking a consumer, hey, how do you influence your buying decision? Are you aware that ABC is there? So consumer will say yes or no. So it will not be directly कि आपको सिर्फ ABC से ही दिक्कत है, हाँ कि ना, नहीं. उसको थोड़ा घुमा फिरा के पूछना है. And with those results, you can show them कि it need not be a very large population size कि 1000-2000 लोग करने हैं, 100-200 लोग करने हैं. No. Even if it's just a sample size of 60 people, 70 people, that's fine. They just need to know कि what kind of research methodology that you did, right? What kind of sample size it was, and not the quantity. It's fine. They can do it on their own, but they just need to see how you did it, right? The research methodology is important here. And always remember, whatever you do, make sure that you know the quantitative part and the qualitative part of it. So if you're making a questionnaire, make it on a scale. So we have semantic scales, we have Likert scale. Why scale? Because you can run some analysis on it. You can, मीन मीडियन मोड आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. उसके बाद आप सम सॉफ्टवेयर रन कर सकते हो, SPSS, ANOVA, a lot of things are there. You can find them on YouTube. Learn करो इस चीजों को. Statistics आपने 11th-12th में भी अगर पढ़ी है, correlation होता है. There are a lot of basic things that can be used in these case competitions. So do those. It's going to look great. It will quantify your research. It will have a very good impression that you actually validated your research via primary. So this is the one way to do it.
So, like, what's the number for the primary research? Like, if I have been able to survey around 20 people and if I've been able to survey around 50 people, like, how do I decide that which one to go for? Because 20 is a very small number to kind of gain an insight for a whole population.
Right. So when you study some advanced statistics, you have some tools to, get that exact number कि अगर मेरे इतने क्वेश्चंस हैं, इतने वेरिएबल्स हैं, तो इसके हिसाब से मेरा पॉपुलेशन साइज, सैंपल साइज इतना होना चाहिए. But you need not go into that deep if you're starting out. That's totally fine. But let's say if I'm talking about a consumer sentiment, then consumers should be around in the range of 50 plus. But if we are talking about a B2B segment, more about the distributors and retailers side, even 20 is okay, right? It's not feasible for you to do this कि आप 50 दुकानों में जा रहे हो, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से बातें कर रहे हो in a span of 2 days, 3 days, जो भी आपको टाइम मिलता है. So it's fine to get the sentiment, to get the, so आपको इस चीज का मतलब क्या होता है, you have to recognize the pain points that these guys are pain points of the research. So if you're getting it in a sample size of 20, it's fine, आपको मिल गया ना. But do not fabricate it. Do actual research, get actual responses.
Okay. Also, in research, are there any like free tools that you can list out together? Like these are the free tools like Notebook LM and all that.
Right. So like I mentioned, various databases are there. AI tools काफी आ गए हैं. So you can leverage those. You can search it on your own. If I do it, it will be just like hand holding. मैंने बता दिया, but do it. And the best resource, I'll say that again, is the one that your college is providing. So it is mandated by UGC for every college to get some databases. They get funds for that. So irrespective of whatever college you have, they must have an online database subscribed to them. Sometimes it's Harvard Business Review, sometimes it's even Bloomberg. So talk to them, understand. Even you will get a good repo in the college. Yeah, कि ये बच्चा कुछ कर रहा है यार. So go ahead with it.
Okay, great. So we'll move on to the third part, that is kind of strategy building and you're designing the solution. So my first question to you is that how do you move from an insight that you have gained from your research to an idea and then moving on to a full-fledged strategy?
Right. Okay. So once the secondary research and the primary research is done, you get a lot of data points. You get कि हाँ ये reasons हैं, ये reasons हैं, इस reason का इतना weightage है, इस reason का इतना weightage है. Then it is all intuitive to realize it's your business acumen in play. You will realize that कि हाँ इन data points से मैं ये insight निकाल सकता हूँ. If you are new to this, take help of any AI tool, Chat GPT, Gemini, put all those data points in a very structured manner, give it a very good prompt that you're a business consultant, these are the data points, this is the problems we are facing, form a strategy around it. So GPT is going to do that, but do not just copy paste it. I'll say that again. Read it and get a direction कि उसने ये करा कैसे. Then come up of an answer of your own कि हाँ, so according to these data points, if the second problem has a most weightage, I have an insight that second problem is important. So what can I do to solve it? And even if the deliverable is asking ki, why is this reason and how can we solve it, it's always better to go above and beyond. You give an execution plan as a bonus. ठीक है? We have recognized this problem statement. We have recognized that this problem is most important. We are giving a solution, and then we are telling you how to execute this as well. Go an extra mile. When all of this is done, the most important part comes into play. So this is usually an advice for the B school students, since UG students do not have much idea about it, but it's always good to be more advanced. So familiarize yourself with some consulting case books, familiarize yourself with the frameworks that is being going on in marketing, in HR, whatever case comp you're doing, frameworks हर जगह exist करते हैं. You just need to go through them. There are case books available. Go through that, and you will realize that it's going to be helpful for you. It's not just random jargon that these consulting companies do. McKinsey 7S framework बना दिया, BCG hands off बना दिया. नहीं, these are actually helpful, and it portrays a very good image that a candidate has used a framework to justify their responses. तो मैंने डेटा पॉइंट निकाल लिया, मेरे पास एक टेबल आ गया, अब उस टेबल को मैं दिखाऊं कैसे. यूज स्टैटिस्टिक्स अगेन, पुट देम इनटू अ पिक्टोरियल फॉर्मेट और विजुअल फॉर्मेट. ग्राफ बनाओ, उसका बार चार्ट बनाओ, जो भी रेलिवेंट चीज है वो बनाओ, उससे शो करो. देन रेफर टू अ फ्रेमवर्क कि इसको मैं डिफाइन कैसे कर सकता हूँ. सो दिस इज माई प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है, इसको मैं 4 पीस से डिफाइन कर सकता हूँ क्या, या फिर इसको मैं मैकिंजी 7S फ्रेमवर्क में डाल के समझ सकता हूँ कि क्या है, क्या चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है. राइट. सो दिस इज हाउ यू portray it. It looks very professional. It looks like something that a knowledgeable person has done, and not just a 12th pass out has done. So this is how you create a differentiating point, a USP.
Okay. So if a person is just starting out and they want to kind of start understanding these decks and also the consulting the guides which we are talking about. So they how do they read them? Like what is an effective way to understand them, read them so that we can retain them and actually use it?
Right. So often, first of all, get a good guide. So get a good guide. So IMs publish it, IM ABCs. So get a guide from there. So they have clubs and societies that publish this, and you can get those. You can request them if you have some friends. If you have some mentor, you can ask them. They can provide it to you. Then most of the time, the first few pages are the basics जो हमें एमबीए में पढ़ाए भी जाते हैं कि ये चीजें हैं, ये फ्रेमवर्क्स हैं, ये होता है बेसिक बेसिक बेसिक. व्हाट इज मार्केटिंग, व्हाट इज सेल्स, व्हाट इज फिनेंस, व्हाट इज कॉर्पोरेट फाइनेंसिंग, व्हाट इज अकाउंट्स. Right. Then some frameworks around it, and then comes the examples part. So particularly in consulting case books, the examples are in form of industries. So various industries are given: aviation industry, telecom industry, and उसमें आपको एक केस सॉल्व करके दिखाया जाता है how to use those frameworks. Also, it gives you an idea about the guesstimates. So guesstimates is really important. It improves your critical thinking. It improves your business acumen. So that's what I was mentioning when you were reading a case. आपके पास अगर business acumen है, आप देखते ही पहचान लोगे, अच्छा इसमें तो ये दिक्कत है. तो वो दिक्कत आपको समझ कैसे आएगी when you have actually read those cases in a case book. आपने recognize करा है कि हाँ, तो एविएशन इंडस्ट्री में ये प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री में ये प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है, बाय दोज एग्जांपल्स दैट दे प्रोवाइड. So it's very clear and simple. You are getting those examples. You just read them thoroughly. You just and then you can also practice them with a friend. Ask a friend to make a sample case problem or pick anyone from the book randomly, and then you can go around solving it. Similarly, other case books are same as well. First, they provide a general framework कि क्या होता है. So let's say we are talking about product management, they will talk about A/B testing, they'll talk about key how to do the market research, what is design thinking, how the task are, what is sprint, what is agile methodology, what is waterfall. And then जब आपको ये frameworks, ये सारे terms पता लग जाएंगे, then you are more well equipped to solve that case study. So this is how you should do it.
Great. One more question in this. That is, there are many mistakes that people do. They either provide, for example, they provide so many solutions and there is no hero solution. So, what are some common
Right.
mistakes that people make? And also, what do like the judges look for in a case solution in the round two, where we have to submit the one pager or two slider and the pitch round?
Okay. So you need to understand that a case competition is not a class presentation. So it's not just like कि आपको क्लास में जैसे केस मिलता है, आप उसकी 10 स्लाइड की पीपीटी बनाते हो. You पहले beat around the bush, you form a story, and then you come up with a solution. A case competition is you're blurting your answer out and then providing it with the evidence of it. Right? So the best way to do it, जितना भी मैंने सेकेंडरी रिसर्च करा, जितना भी मैंने प्राइमरी रिसर्च करा, जितनी मैंने उसके इनसाइट्स निकाली, जितनी भी मैंने उसको फ्रेमवर्क्स में डाली, उसके बाद जो मेरा आंसर आया, दैट विल बी योर सेंट्रल पॉइंट. सो लेट्स से यू गेट 4 आंसर्स कि ठीक है, वी शुड डू दिस, वी शुड डू दिस, वी शुड डू दिस. So take these answers as alternatives, then create a criteria out of it. So criteria could be the importance metrics. These criteria could be the time taken. These criteria could be the cost that these are going to take. These criteria could be the resources that it requires. And you can use these criteria as a checkbox. You can imagine a checkbox. So these are the alternatives listed and these are the criteria listed. And then you can see when you market कि ठीक है, मेरे को एडवर्टाइजिंग ज्यादा करनी है, या फिर मेरे को सप्लाई चेन ज्यादा करनी है. सप्लाई चेन में मेरे रिसोर्सेज ज्यादा लग रहे हैं, कॉस्ट ज्यादा लग रही है, टाइम ज्यादा लग रहा है. एडवर्टाइजिंग में मेरा कॉस्ट ज्यादा लग रहा है लेकिन रिसोर्सेज कम लग रहे हैं, टाइम कम लग रहा है. सो My most important thing right here to do is the advertising part, right? तो ये चीज करके मैं एक फाइनल आंसर दूंगा. उसके बाद आई विल reverse engineer it. कि ठीक है, this is the answer to the solution that we are looking for here. Now reverse engineer it. Furthermore, we have three more other answers which are uh, examined over these criteria. Then we have come across with our research. Here is the research. Here are the graphs. Here are the statistics. Where do we get it from? From these secondary resources, from these primary resources. So this is how a flow of your प्रेजेंटेशन शुड लुक लाइक कि आपने उनको बता दिया, देन आप रिवर्स इंजीनियर कर रहे हो कि मैंने कैसे करा.
Okay, so we just spoke about like deck making. So, what's your kind of the process of making a compelling deck, and how do you balance data as well as storytelling in your deck? And is there anything that matters a lot in a deck presentation that gives you points to get to the next round?
Right. So for the students who are just starting out, I would highly recommend refer to a case competition PPT first. Not just one, in plural, you can refer to as many as possible because you will get an idea कि ये क्या होता है. जब मैंने पहली बार एक केस कॉम की डेक देखी थी, आई वाज लाइक कि ये क्या गंदा सा बनाया हुआ है, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी क्लटर्ड एंड वेरी नॉट प्लेजेंट लुकिंग. इट्स वेरी कि मेरे को जूम करके पढ़ना पड़ रहा है. So it was like, yeah, such a bad PPT. How it is getting shortlisted? How is someone winning from that? So it's like a cultural shock because we are not taught in this in our undergraduate programs or graduate programs. We are taught to make very beautiful decks, very easy to read decks, but that is not the case here. So यहाँ पे क्या है कि हमारे पास information बहुत ज़्यादा है, but हमारे पास space बहुत कम है. So first you need to understand that. So only the most important things come on that sheet. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने 100 data points डाले तो आपको 100 के 100 डालने हैं. You need to understand कि prioritize कि कौन से most important हैं and वो डालने हैं. It is very important to do not leave any white space on your PPT. White space shows a very bad impression. It shows कि आपके पास कुछ दिखाने को ही नहीं है. So that is why it's mostly cluttered. Then always start with a template. You can buy the template on TopMate. You can get these templates from your seniors, your mentors who have passed in the past, won the case competitions. Always use a template. If you start making a case comp PPT from scratch, you will be flabbergasted. You will be like कि यार मैं क्या कहाँ से start करूँ, मैं कौन सी line draw करूँ, मैं इसको कैसे bifurcate करूँ, कैसे divide करूँ. If you have a template, then it's a starting point for you. It's a reference point for you. At the end, once you're done, it's going to look completely different from what you started out. It's not going to be the same template. Even you're going to change the colors eventually also, but it will give you a starting point कि हाँ कि ऐसा दिखना चाहिए. So it's all psychological. You have something in front of you कि ऐसा दिखना चाहिए तो आप उसके जैसा ही बना लो. So this is my advice for you.
How can someone prepare for the Q&A round, and how can someone stand out in the last round, which is the pitching round?
Right. So the first thing is a very cliche thing to say, but it's going to be confidence. Be confidence in your solution. So how does a presentation goes is it's usually a room if in a campus or remote, and there are a lot of teams who are going to present. So if a team is presenting before you and they have a better idea than you, don't think that your idea is bad. Never think that. Be confident in your solutions. Be thorough with it. Be thorough with your research. Before presenting, just make sure you recall whatever you did. So if you went out in the market, if you did some kind of primary research, if you did some secondary research, your sources, your data points should be on your tips. So if a judge asks you, you need not refer to some notes. You just tell them कि हाँ ऐसे ऐसे करा था हमने. So it's look more authentic कि हाँ you actually did it and you actually remember the stuff. Second, avoid taking a lot of reference from a sheet of paper or the mobile is a no-no. Don't speak and go in front of a whole audience, or even if it's a remote, even don't do it. या mobile देख के पढ़ रहे हो सब कुछ. Prepare your script. Prepare exactly what you have to say. If you're a team, divide the speaking parts among the key. First slide you will say, second slide I'll say. Divide it, prepare it, practice it, because there are people who present in a lot better manner. There are some natural speakers. So the only way to mitigate that, only way to get an upper hand is by practice and preparing for it. So many people do this mistake. They're like, "Ki, we have a very good solution. We have very good PPT. We are from a very good college. We are gonna, the competition is very less. We are gonna sail through it," and they eventually do not. I have myself have faced this. I gave a case comp half-heartedly, and I did not win. It was a very easy case comp, right? So never be overconfident, but always stay confident in your solutions.
And also, further, like summarizing everything, what is that one advice you would give someone to stand out from hundreds of teams which are there?
Right. So it's mostly the presentation because in the round two, which is an eliminatory round, a lot of teams are there and अच्छे से छटाई हो जाती है. So if 100 teams are there in round two, only 10-15 are selected. Yeah, maybe more, but yeah, you get the gist. So so I was in a committee that hosts these competitions as well. So we do not really have a lot of time to go through each and every line of what you have presented, each and every framework that you have presented. We just go through कि हाँ यार, this PPT looks good. इसने काफी डेटा पॉइंट्स दिए हैं, इसने काफी ग्राफ्स बनाए हैं, ये थोड़ा सुंदर सा लग रहा है. इस बेसिस पे, this is the harsh truth. I know this isn't how it's supposed to be, but mostly it is, especially in B school competitions. Corporate ones are more diligent, but in B school ones, it's like the case ki PPT kitni achhi lag rahi hai, your presentation is kitni hai good, right? So make sure that your presentation is top notch. It's like you are giving 100% of the efforts there. Research में आप चाहे एक बार को 90 दे लो, 80 दे लो, but in presentation you have to give 100% of your efforts.
Got it. So we'll move on to the next part of the podcast. That's something I find really cool about you is that you have interned at very top places and across many spaces like strategy and sales, marketing. So for someone who
Right.
is in their first, second, or third year, they kind of do not have that much experiences. Either they have, but they have not worked at many top firms. So how do they differentiate themselves from many applicants? How do they show their skills and their potential? Is there any kind of project that they can submit? And what are some CV resume tips that you would give? And if you can just emphasize upon cold mailing, networking, and all that.
Right. Okay. So I'll let you know by my experience in particular. So when I joined MBA, I was a fresher as well. And we had candidates who have, more than 4 years of work ex. But I was able to hold a conversation with them. And sometimes I did have some more industry insights than them. Why and how? Because I did a lot of internships, like more than 10, more than 15. I don't even remember now. And most of them, some of them were in big brands, I agree, but most of them were in startups. So this startup culture जो आपको LinkedIn पे देखा जाता है, it's a very hustling culture. That is true, and that helps you a lot eventually, especially when you are very young, when you are in second year or third year, let's say. So I would suggest approach any startup. All startups are looking to hire. All startups will appreciate that you are coming to them. They appreciate proactive people. So if you're someone who's so the best practice to do it, just connect with the founder, connect with the HR person, or connect with a manager or a marketing team or a finance team, whatever you are interested in. Ping them up and come up with a solution for their organization. So startups have a lot of problems to solve. So try to identify those problems. So let's say I did that for a matrimonial site. So it was based out of Shark Tank. वो Shark Tank में भी आई थी, and I had a very good pitch prepared. It was very dramatic. It wasn't just like कि, hi, I'm from this college. I want to do a life project with you. It was like कि, hi, my name is Rahul, and Rahul is looking for a Simran. ऐसा. So grab the attention. They are also human. They are not very in the professional space. So especially for startups, have a very cool pitch and have something that you can add value to their organization. So you can, look at their product, look at their supply chain, look at how they are selling things, look at their ads, and just, tell them ki, so don't ask for a live project, don't ask for an internship. Just, hi, I came across your post. Hi, I came across your ad. Hi, I came across this problem on your website. And I think that this can be done better by this. So you'll definitely 90% of the times you'll get a reply, even if it's from a founder. These founders are very diligent. They are very, even if they are very busy, they are very proactive this way. And cold mailing, cold calling, it's very underrated. You should do it. You should know how to do it, even if you do not want anything. Just do it for the sake of practicing it, connecting with people. I have connected with a lot of CXOs just by, cold emailing. I really want to connect with you. I really want to learn from you. I don't want anything from you. I don't want any internships. I just want to be in your community. I just want to be a connection. So this is how I run a student community as well, where I send opportunities, where I send placements opportunities and internship opportunities. How do I find it? My LinkedIn is like it's like a hiring board. So I just scroll through it and I see 10 opportunities, 15 opportunities who are hiring. How did I did that? Is connecting with the right people. So I do not really follow some LinkedIn influencers. I myself am not one. I have a lot of followers, but I am not a LinkedIn influencer. I'm just someone who has good connections. So this is how it helps. And yes, it's always better to have a personal brand. Now, personal brand doesn't mean you are talking anything कि ओ जेप्टो ने ये ad निकाली, ओ जोमेटो का ये ब्रांडिंग टेक्निक मेरे को समझ आया, ओ देयर इज अ न्यू फाइनेंशियल प्रैक्टिस नहीं. सो आपको जबरदस्ती की लिंक्डइन इन्फ्लुएंसिंग नहीं करनी. इट्स नॉट इंस्टाग्राम. आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स आर देयर, दे गेट अ लॉट ऑफ इंप्रेशंस, दे गेट अ लॉट ऑफ लाइक्स, बट दैट्स ऑफ नो यूज. I'll be totally honest with you. क्या कर लोगे likes impressions लाके? That is not a personal brand. A personal brand is if a recruiter is coming into my profile and they see what kind of achievements I have done, what kind of extracurriculars I was involved in, what kind of academic certifications do I have. So this is going to be a much better branding for myself than just uh, posting random stuff. And you can also post about, so let's say I have something that I can share. I have some knowledge, I have some resource. Feel free to do it because it will bring you engagement. It will bring a very, positive side to you that you're giving back to the society, as well as you'll be actually helping out people. And it will look like you are an expert on that matter. So even though I'm not a certified case competition mentor, why am I at this podcast is because you have felt like कि यार इनकी पोस्ट देख के लगता है कि इन्होंने कुछ तो उखाड़ा है, right? So this is what kind of branding we are talking about here.
Right. So you spoke about like writing on LinkedIn. Like I'm not talking about getting the likes and impressions, but to get
Right,
noticed by the recruiters. So
right,
for someone who is in their early 20s, they might not have a niche right now. They might not know whether they like finance, whether they like
right,
economics, but they love writing, or maybe they are writing about a concept that they wrote. So
right.
does not having a niche writing kind of puts you in a bad position with the recruiters, or it kind of makes you more reliable?
No, so especially if you're a journalist, if you're just starting out, you don't know your niche, it is very good to write on diverse topics. So, uh, I in my finance class today, I have learned this concepts and I greatly enjoyed it, and I have applied this in real life as well. So this could be one. And other thing would be I really love this marketing concept. I have seen this somewhere and I would really love to apply in any organization if someone is looking out for it. So see, I have made a sample pitch, I have made a sample advertisement, I have made a sample poster. Do it. It will count as an academic project that you are showing. So it will be like, you're a very proactive individual who is, exploring a lot of fields. So it's fine. It's rather good. So one skill that I believe is the most important during a second year or a third year in graduation is proactiveness. आपको चाहे कुछ भी नहीं आता हो, but if you're proactive enough, if you're even trying to reach out, that is enough. 50% आप आओ, 50% इंडस्ट्री आएगी, बट आपको 50% आना पड़ेगा क्योंकि लोग 50% में नहीं आते. दे जस्ट चिल अराउंड, दे जस्ट पार्टी, राइट? तो पार्टी करो बट साथ में हसल भी करो.
Got it. So that was for internship part. So we'll now talk about placements. So Gartner is a very massive name in research. So how did that come through for you? And what should students really focus on if they want to land an off-campus opportunity?
Right, okay. So Gartner was an on-campus placement for me. It was the first company that I arrived at the campus, and I got placed on day zero. But that being said, it's not like you cannot get into big brands off campus way. So I have a senior, an immediate senior. So five students were selected from my campus at Gartner, and he was a sixth student. So I was wondering, ki, how come six people are there? So I approached him. I asked him. He said, "Ki I got an on-campus placement in an organization, but they revoked my offer letter due to some reasons, and I applied in Gartner, and it was a very rigorous process, more rigorous than the campus ones, because and a little more time-consuming. But at the end, they were all sitting in the same place, right? So it's not that you cannot get good kind of job opportunities via off campus. You cannot get good internship opportunities. It is always good to look for those. You do not need to rely 100% on your campus placements. I understand you pay a lot of fee in your undergraduate programs. You look forward to a lot of, you have a lot of promises that you the college do कि हम लगवा देंगे. We have 100% placement assistance program ये वो, but never rely on them completely. Do your own research, find your own opportunities, apply to them. वो हुआ नहीं हुआ ठीक है यार, but at least do.
So one question that I have as a second year in DU is that कैसे आप placement जो है उसमें क्या क्या, like how can I kind of build a network कि when I'm
Mhm.
sitting for an off campus, because DU में placements तो क्या ही अब मैं
Right.
बोलूं इसका, तो सो उसके लिए हाउ कैन आई बिल्ड कनेक्शंस फ्रॉम राइट नाउ, or maybe the skill set that they kind of look for in a candidate, or projects or internships, what do they value basically?
ठीक है. So first thing would be the intent. You should have a intent and you should show that intent. So that could be in the form of even certifications. कि मेरे को भैया प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट रोल में जाना है तो देखो मैंने 5 सर्टिफिकेशंस कर रखे हैं which directly aligns with the product management role. Right? So that is how you show the intent. Other way could be getting academic projects as well. कि मैंने कुछ academic project बनाया है, मैंने एक अपना एक portfolio बनाया, right? Then you the about the community part, reach out to the right people. Do you, although being not very good at placements, because I particularly they do not reach out to their alums well. DU has a massive base of alumnus who are sitting at very 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 good positions in virtually all the organizations that you can think of, right? So how do you find it? Just go to any company page, any dream organization that you like, go to the people section, write your college name, write Delhi University or write college name. You'll get all the alumnus list. Connect with them. Add a note when you're connecting with them, especially on LinkedIn. Add a note there that, hi, I am this from your alma mater, and I'm looking forward to connect with you. I need your guidance. Do not be so selfish, or do not seem selfish कि भैया मेरे को आपसे internship चाहिए, दीदी मेरे को placement दिला दो please. No, just connect with them for the purpose of learning. How did they reach there? What was their roadmap? And see if you can help them out, in form of कि just give them कि हाँ देखो DU में आजकल ये चल रहा है. They will reminisce their own memories कि हाँ यार, I remember my college days as well. Then ask them कि if there are any opportunities available, please, if you can guide me, refer me. They will सामने से say यार, we can refer you, we can we can ask a friend if they can get you an internship, we can refer you in our organization. They will सामने से tell you, but you need to ask them. Yeah. So this is one way to do it. And sorry, what was the second part of your question?
That what are the skills do they look for, or the projects, internships, and all that part?
Right. So what makes you stand out is especially the internships and life projects. So if you have industry exposure, your mind will be here in a totally different place, because industry works in a completely different manner than what has been taught to us. So सबसे पहली बात आपका दिमाग खुलेगा, and second part, if they see that you have some evidence of that work that you have done, so that gives a very important gives a very good image. So आपने internship करी है, you need to also this is a skill as well. How do you mention the things that you have done? You may be doing a menial task, but you need to understand कि ये task यार कुछ बड़ी चीज पे जा रहा है, right? So even if you're an like let's say even if you're doing sales, or even if you're just doing a simple market research or even data entry, आपको लगेगा यार क्या ही बेसिक सा काम है, इसको मैं क्या ही रेज्यूमे पे दिखाऊं। बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये बेसिक सा काम जो है, ये कहीं ना कहीं तो एक बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक है एक ब्रॉडर चीज को। तो वंस यू रिकॉग्नाइज दैट, योर वर्क विल बी मोर मीनिंगफुल, you will be more satisfied, and you will also know how to mention this on your resume. ठीक है? I made a data entry in such a way that 10% efficiency was increased because I automated it, because I used some some formulas, some AI tool for doing it. So even though I was just doing data entry in my internship, but I did it in a good way, efficient manner. That's what matters, and that's how you should show it on your resume as well. तो जब आपके सारे ये सारे पॉइंट्स लिस्टेड होंगे, तब एक रिक्रूटर को ये देख के बहुत अच्छा लगेगा कि हाँ, आपके पास एविडेंस है कि आपने क्या काम करा है, कहाँ काम करा है, एंड एटलीस्ट काम करा है। ऐसा नहीं कि बस आप पढ़ पढ़ के 90% ला के 9 CGPA ला के ले आए मेरे पास मुंह उठा के। नहीं। So if there is someone who's on Dean's merit list, they are in the top three of their program and they have no industry exposure, and someone who is just a average kid but has a lot of industry exposure, that guy will be selected.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope that Rahul's insights and his journeys have truly helped each one of you. And I repeat that if someone is figuring out case competitions, and especially if you're in your first year or your second year of undergrad, then this is going to be your go to guide. We have covered everything about case competitions, and we have also spoken about internships and placements. If you did find the content of this episode useful, then please do consider like, sharing, and subscribing. And see you in the next episode. Bye bye.